This morning, parents in the Green Bay school area, the district, are expressing concern about a transgender athlete deciding to play on a girls' team.
And the school district held a meeting with parents last night. Kristen Allen joining us live at the Green Bay School District office this morning. So, Kristen, what are parents saying?
Well, the media was not allowed inside of the meeting that was held here last night, but we were able to catch up with some parents after the meeting who say they still have a lot of questions. They felt as though their questions were not really answered at this meeting, and the information was kind of a basic, just kind of going over guidelines and things of that nature. Some of these parents have concerns about a transgender student being able to use the girls' locker rooms and bathrooms at the school and during sporting events and things of that nature. The school district did release a statement, though, saying, quote, that the district cares about the well-being of every student. All decisions regarding a student's ability to participate in co-curricular athletics and activities are made in accordance with the Title IX law, board policy, and WIAA regulations. The WIAA's policy lists a number of criteria for schools to follow when deciding whether a student can participate. That includes providing a written statement from the student affirming consistent gender identity. Per WIA rules, a transgender person identifying as female must have a year of medically documented testosterone suppression therapy to compete on a girls' team. Parents say they have concerns about transgender athletes playing on girls' teams.
The biggest issue that a lot of us parents feel is the locker room issue. Before games, after games. We weren't made aware until last night even that you can use whatever bathroom that you choose that you identify with. I just want my kids to grow up and to know that their rights aren't being invaded.
And we'll be continuing to follow this story and bring you the latest on what happens. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.